All right, I think we're live now. That was a challenge. All right, do me a favor, if you are joining live, why don't you let me know in the comments that you can see me. I had a problem. It looks like as I was going live, YouTube logged me out, and I had to reconnect. Let's see here. Yes, no. Fun part about live. Earlier, I lost all my cameras too. So let's see what the group says. Oh, that is stuck on volume. That's not helpful. All right. Let's see if that works. That connection is not working. Let me try and give me 1 second here. I'm going to try this thing one more time. Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to leave it. Man, I am having technical difficulties this morning. It has been a challenge. So I don't think I'm going to get... I'll actually bring it back up real quick. Here we go. Did I just lose all my cameras? Nope, there they go. Mix social. And view. And down, down, and down. Man, I tell you what, it has been a morning. Let's see here. Now we've got things working. Let's go over here. We've got, yep, everything's working now. God bless America. I lost my cameras this morning. Thought I don't even know. And then I try and go live, and while I'm going live, YouTube decides that they want to log me out. So we got that working. We had a good morning from Mary. We can see you from Caleb. Thank you, my friend. Brandon's in the house. What's going on, my friend? Good morning. Thanks, brother. Appreciate the compliment. We've got Brian Schmitz. Good morning from Lucky Luke. Good morning, my friend. And Caleb says, good morning from Georgia. Good morning, Caleb. It is good to have you here. We're going to get started here in just a second. I want to apologize for the delay. Again, technical issues, and it looks like my camera just wants to flash on and off here. That is not helpful. Do me a favor, Mary. Let me know if you can still see me live, because I've lost it. I've lost the preview on the vMix, or actually this on YouTube. It says, let's see here. Eric's in the house. Eric says, good morning from Mr. Twisty. Good morning. Hope the truck is running well. Steve Eller's in the house. Good morning. Hope hopping on before ski swap. All right, get that done. Now, yep, video is fine. Very interesting. Now I've lost the ability to bring comments up. It's disconnected again. So let me see. Here we go. Yep, video is fine. All right, I'm just going to deal with this. It's creating a little stress for me this morning. But you know what? It's not unlike when a printer goes down in the kitchen, or the power goes out, the POS system freaks out, internet is gone. Like, we roll with the punches. We're restaurant people. So we're going to get started here in just a second. I want to make sure you're logged into your YouTube accounts, your Google accounts. They're synonymous, so you can participate in the chat, just like my friends here were doing, and letting me know things were working. I'm going to just do a double check here. Again, it looks like maybe there's a little bit of delay, a little more than normal, but I can live with that. So I'm going to get us started here. Let's get going. Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. STS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day to get pumped about the upcoming week and get excited about crushing your goals and finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm Dave Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula, and your coach. As a reminder, those of you who are joining a little bit late, we had some technology issues. I'm getting started a little late. I apologize. But make sure you're logged into your Google account, your YouTube account, so you can participate in the chat, because I'll be answering your questions later. Let's get started. Restaurant pros, if this is weak, Well, if this week's been rough, kind of like my morning with technology, and you've had too many no-shows, a walk-in go down, or that one employee who's allergic to showing up on time, let's all take a breath. You're still doing more right than you think. You've just been, busy putting out fires to see the wins that right there in front of you. So today, we're going to shine a light on 7 bright spots already sitting inside your restaurant. And when you double down on these, you'll create momentum before the weekend even hits. So let's go through them. Number 1 is the 2-minute gratitude huddle. Here's what to do. Start every pre-shift with a 2-minute gratitude huddle. Ask 2 simple questions. Number 1, who made your job easier this week? Think about that. Who made your job easier this week? Think about what all of a sudden one of your employees, when you ask that question, what they start thinking about. The second question, what guest moment made you smile? Listen to the focus change. What guest moment made you smile? See how powerful these 2 questions are. That's it. 2 minutes. No speeches, no kumbaya circles, just quick, real answers. Here's how it works. You're pulling your team out of survival mode and putting them into appreciation mode. Gratitude changes how people show up. It flips their focus from I'm tired to I'm part of something. Here's why it works. When your team feels seen, they try harder. They talk nicer. They sell more. It's not soft stuff, it's human stuff. Energy follows focus, and gratitude is one hell of a refocus. Number 2, 1 feature, many frames. Here's what to do. Pick 1 feature you want to push tonight. Maybe it's your high margin appetizer, a new cocktail, or a signature dessert. Doesn't matter what it is, pick 1 thing that you want your team to promote. Then teach your servers 3 different ways to sell it. What do I mean? Well, here are the 3 ways. The first one is the value frame. It's perfect to share, and it's under $10, right? That customer who maybe is budgetary, or we'll talk about how the server can use it. Or the story frame. Our chef learned this from his grandmother. Oh, this is something special. Or the third frame, the treat frame. If you've had a week like mine, this is your reward. Like, this is special. So here's how it works. You're giving servers options, not scripts. I cannot tell you how many times I go into the chain restaurants and they operate from a script. And even though they're doing all the right things, hey, let's create a bond. I had somebody, I think I told you the other week, walked into, that's a great tattoo. Wasn't even at the table 2 seconds. Went through the let's create a bond before we go through our what today's specials are. Well, the fact is it was so rote, so robot, it meant nothing. You want to give your servers, or cashiers in many instances, flexibility to use these things in a way that matches who they are. So you give them options, not scripts. Different guests buy for different reasons, and more importantly, different servers sell in different voices. You're making it easier. You're making it so easy for them to sound natural and confident. And here's why it works. Repetition sells, but creativity creates an environment where you keep it interesting. Instead of one robotic sales pitch, your servers can pick their groove, if you will. That variety leads to more yeses at the tables, and that means better tips, higher check averages without anyone feeling pushed. How about number 3? The 3-minute expo reset. Now, this is a really good one and very simple, and it should be done all the time. I guess I should say when you have an expo working. Here's what to do. Before the doors open, have your expo walk the line for a 3-minute reset. They check 1, ticket times, meaning, hey everybody, what's our goal tonight? 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Everyone aligned? right? You're going through and making sure everybody understands what your goal is for tonight, that they can work towards it. Number 2, plating standards. All your expo does is hold up either a plate or a photo and says, this is our gold standard tonight. Clean rims, hot food hot, cold food cold, right? We're very specific. 3, communication handoff. Set the handoff phrase for the night, right? Something that's works for your expo, works for your team. Maybe it's hands in, hot out, runner ready. Doesn't matter what it is. Something that keeps talk tight and their energy focused. Here's how it works. This little walkthrough aligns the kitchen and front of house before chaos starts. It's not about nitpicking, it's about syncing. Basically, you're saying, let's agree on what good looks like before the rush ever even hits. Here's why it works. Because communication doesn't fail during the rush, it fails before the rush. Do you hear that? Communication doesn't fail during the rush, it fails before. This check gets everyone on the same page, same pace, same purpose. And once the line and the floor are locked in, the whole service just feels smoother. How about number 4? The waste wins wall. The waste wins wall. That's a mouthful, right? Here's what to do. Put up a small whiteboard, or even it does not matter if you want to tape a piece of paper up there, right? Somewhere in your kitchen, and label it yesterday's saves. Every day, write down one waste prevention win, like catching spoiled produce, portioning perfectly, or fixing a prep mistake before it costs you money, right? Because I get you to use the waste tracker to track all the things that went wrong in a shift, and we talk about what we can do to fix it. But instead, this is how this works. You're flipping the conversation. Instead of harping on what you wasted, what was wasted, you're celebrating. You're celebrating what was saved. It's the same information, but the tone shifts from you screwed up to you caught it. Here's why it works. People love being recognized for saving the business money, not being blamed for costing it, right? Because I always say that using the waste tracker is a niggy sob. A niggy sob is from a book Andrew Burney wrote, clinical psychologist, games people play. These are subconscious games people play at work back in the 1960s. No, I did not read the book. I stole this from my dad. But the fact of the matter is niggy sob stands for now I got you, you son of a bitch. Because that's what a waste tracker is to many employees. If I burned a burger, why do I want to write it down? I'm going to get written up. I'm going to lose my job. Instead, it's a proactive tool to make changes in the business. Well, when we change the focus and get people to look for the wins, the waste wins, it turns accountability into a game that trains your crew to look for opportunities instead of mistakes. That's big. How about number 5? The Smile Maker 3-step. Sounds like a dance, doesn't it? The Smile Maker 3-step. Let's do it. Do-si-do. No, here's what to do. Train your servers to hit 3 micro moments on every table. 3 micro moments. So 1, greet within 60 seconds, right? We've got to make sure the guest understands, because once we get past that 60 seconds, they stop engaging with the guest across from them. They start wondering, is anybody ever going to serve me? So we keep them focused on the guest. We let them know we've acknowledged they're there. How about micro moment number 2? Use the guest's name once. There is one thing, studies have been shown that people love one word the most. It's to hear their name. And in the restaurant business, that creates, well, a bond. That I'm a person, not just a customer, not just money sitting at a table. So how do I do this? Well, if you're using reservation systems, we can grab their name from the reservation. We can certainly ask their name at the beginning or at the end, even if it's at the very end of the meal, we can get it off their credit card. Finally, micro moment number 3. Give one personalized recommendation, not something off the script. And I just gave you 3 ways you can do that. Here's how it works. You're creating a connection with your guest in seconds. Guests stop being table 12 and start being people. You're coaching warmth, not words. And here's why it works. People don't remember what they ate. They remember how they felt. That's why we talk about creating memories in the restaurant business. Hospitality is creating memories. And a lot of that is not breaking the connection with the guests they're with. Again, going back to that 60-second check-in or welcome. A guest who feels seen, heard, and treated like a human leaves happier, tips better, and tells friends. That's marketing you can't buy. That's why Restaurant 101 is so important in your restaurants. And this is a part of it, that great hospitality, great service portion of it. How about number 6? The comp and void spotlight. Here's what to do. At the end of each shift, print out your comp and void reports. Post the totals. Talk about your voids, your comps for 60 seconds. At the end of the shift. No finger pointing, just ask, what did we learn? Here's how it works. Transparency creates awareness. When everyone can see the numbers, patterns show up fast. You'll spot that dish that keeps coming back, the station that struggles, or the bartender who's maybe a little too generous with freebies. Here's why it works. Because what gets measured gets managed. You don't have to lecture. You just have to shine a light on the data. And people start adjusting their behaviors on their own. That's leadership through visibility. And finally, number 7, the one table better challenge. Listen to what I just said. The one table better challenge. Here's what to do. Right before service, ask each server which table you're going to make your wow table tonight. Let them choose one table to do something special for. Maybe a dessert note, a quick chef visit, or a memorable moment. Here's how it works. Giving your servers permission to care creatively. Instead of dragging them through another shift, they focus on creating one amazing guest experience they could be proud of. Here's why it works. Because when people take pride in one table, that energy spreads into the rest of their shift. Guests notice, team morale lifts, and you start building a culture where above and beyond is the norm, not the exception. Look, Restaurant Pro, it's easy to get buried in the problems. Labor shortages, rising costs, endless fires. It's enough to make anyone forget the good stuff that's actually working. But leadership isn't about ignoring the bad. It's about amplifying the good. Listen to me. Leadership's not about focusing on the bad things. It's about amplifying the good things. If you focus on even 2 bright spots this weekend and really lean in, you'll see the whole vibe of your restaurant shift. That's the power of you being a leader. That's the power of focusing, inspecting what you expect or inspecting what you manage. You don't need a miracle. You need momentum. So pick 2 bright spots. Put them into play tonight. And tell me Monday. Hell, email me at david@davidscottpeters.com. Share with me how it went. Because these things are real things you can put in your restaurant today. That concludes my portion of STS with DSP. It's now your time. We're gonna make sure everything, the technology is still working here. Like I said, I had a challenge earlier. My preview is way behind, so I'm hoping at this point in time everything is working. I'm gonna go back here. Attila's in the house. Attila says, good morning. Good morning to you, my friend. It is great to have you as always. Bruce is in the house. Good morning from North Carolina. Good morning, Bruce. It is great to have you here. Ian McCall is in the house. Good morning, DSP. Good morning to you. It is awesome to have you. Ian says, the greatest sound to a man is the sound of his name. Dale Carnegie. There you go. I knew it was somebody smarter than me. Let's see, are all the comments coming through? It looks like all the comments are coming through. Well, now is the time for your questions. Before I go into the questions, I always put up the QR code. Why? Because it's a little shameless self-promotion. We're a restaurant training coaching company, and we help people find restaurant prosperity, which is freedom in your restaurant, the financial freedom you deserve. And if you're a restaurant owner ready to make the change, don't know how, want a little help, or just a kick in the pants, told what you're doing you're doing it right, now somebody to sound off on. Well, please do me a favor, scan that QR code, get on a discovery call, take you 15, 20, 30 minutes with Ryan James, who's a restaurant owner, has been through the program, made huge change in his business, now helps us. He's an evangelist, but he's going to learn about what your challenges are. He can tell you what will fix those challenges, and you guys can determine whether or not what we do is right for you. We're not a right fit for everybody, I just like to think so. But you got nothing to lose. No, by the way, if you say, I don't want to do this, you're not going to get 8,000 phone calls. Hey man, what the hell? Because I can't make you want to do the work. You have to be motivated enough to say, now is the time to make change. I've been doing this. I'm going to show you something. I made a change. Let's see if I have it on here or not. Oh, I dropped it. I put up if you'll notice at the beginning, I fixed my little lower third. When my name comes up at the beginning, it says David Scott Peters. Well, it was being covered by something. I couldn't figure out how to fix it, and I fixed it. And I changed it to the OG restaurant coach. No, I'm not the original gangster, but if you look it up on Google, you'll see that it also means original or authentic, things like that. I am the original coach. Back in the day, I'm in my 23rd year of restaurant coaching. It was me and restaurantowner.com, and they weren't coaching, they're a member site. And today you've got a lot of choices, and there's some good people out there. So you find the person who's the right fit for you. We'd love an opportunity to show you how we might be the right fit for you. But if we're not, that's okay. Scan that QR code, get on his calendar. Now let's see what kind of questions we have. All right, I am not seeing a question. The last thing I have was Ian replying to, that sounds great. I'm looking at my team here. They're not saying anything is not working. So, how are we doing on time? We're right at the edge here. So if you got a question, a comment, this is your time. This is why I do this, is not only just to provide you a little spark, a little information, a little something to keep you moving. I do this to be able to answer your questions, especially if you're a non-member. Like, you're getting access to me just like my members do. No questions? No comments? No nothing? We've had enough DSP this Friday. My technology issues weren't enough for the day. Camera's not working in the software. Going live, but YouTube logging me out and having to get up and reconnect. Having to reconnect the comments. Right? Sounds like a Friday night. Sounds like a Friday night. But you know what? We persevered. We got technology. We kicked its ass. And we delivered. And that's what you have to do in your restaurant as a leader as well. It's just, you've got a little more help. It's just me in my studio. So that doesn't always work. All right, I am not seeing additional comments. I'm not seeing my team talking to me. I'm also not, it doesn't look like I'm that far behind as far as here. We've got one thing, here it comes. Let's see if it's going to work. There is a delay there. I've got a couple things here. So Bruce says, I feel I'm taking too much time for inventory. How do I do inventory faster? So Bruce, question for you. Are you using a piece of software like Margin Edge? We send our people to marginedge.com/DSP for David Scott Peters. Puts you on a call with Bruce. Bruce is a 30, almost 40-year plus veteran in the restaurant business. I don't get a commission, I don't get anything. We just love the software, and I love Bruce. And if you're using any other software, that's great. You don't need to switch. You need to set up shelf-to-sheet inventory as it appears on the shelf the way you want it counted. So for instance, if I've got in the reach-in or the walk-in freezer, the first shelf, upper left-hand side, is a case of McCain's potato wedges. On my sheet needs to be first position, McCain's potato wedges, who I buy it from, how I want it counted by the case and the case price. Then I go into the reach-in freezer. It's on the fifth position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the fifth position, it says 5, McCain's potato wedges, 5-pound bag. 5-pound bag price. On the line, I do the drawer freezer, and there are my loose McCain's potato wedges in position 8. It'll say McCain's 8th position, McCain's potato wedges, by the ounce and the ounce price. And next to it will be McCain's potato wedges in 6-ounce portion bags as a batch recipe. I count the item in the order it appears on the shelf, the way you want it counted with the right price. I have $2 million restaurants take inventory in under an hour every Sunday. It takes 3, 4, 5 inventories to dial it in, but then it's magic. 2 people counting 1 hour. That's how you get it done, my friend. But you need software to make that happen. Brandon asked the question, inspirational. Miss it? Looking forward to going through the program with the new team. Awesome, Brandon. For those who don't know, Brandon was a member, went through the RTI program, has bought and sold a restaurant, and, came back to the program. And just so you know, this is lifelong learning. Whether it's Brandon or you or anyone else, I have members who've been with me for years. When I mean years, my old company, I had a group of elite restaurant owners that had been with me on an average of 10 to 12 years. This company started in 2019, started coaching again in 2020 after selling my last company. I have members who've been with me from the beginning. And you might say to yourself, why the hell would somebody still be with a coach? Number one, there's years of work to do. And number two, it's not always about learning as much as it is having that support. Whether it's other restaurant owners in the group coaching call, people who've walked your circle, have the same pain points, but can share ideas. Because I don't run a restaurant anymore. No. So I couldn't tell you the first thing about how to get a certain report in Toast, but I've got plenty of members who do. People on my team that do. And it's that community that helps keep that fire lit under you and moving forward. People who have walked the circle have that solution, know the product that you should use, know the piece of equipment you should use, knows the software or payroll provider you need to avoid. And sometimes just having someone look over your shoulder, give you a little push, and see things you don't. It is awesome to have you back, Brandon. We're excited. I've got Caleb's in the house. Caleb says, what is the best way to teach shy, quiet servers and cashiers to push items and upsell? Well, that's kind of the beginning of today. I said servers, but I also said you could do this with cashiers. You've got to give them training. You've got to give them, remember I said the 3 frames, 1 item, 3 frames? Give them multiple ways that they can do things so it matches their personality style. It's also teaching them that you're actually giving somebody a better experience, because many servers, many cashiers think when you say let's upsell, that you're pushing, you're selling, and selling has a bad connotation, right? It just has a bad connotation. A lot of people, I don't want to sell. Well, the truth of the matter is, I have no problem telling you about my group coaching program, because I know if you go into the group coaching program, I can make your life better. I can get you a life, help you make more money, put a full management team in place. I mean, I can make a change. So why wouldn't I evangelize that? If I know I'm going to sell you something, I'm not selling you something, I'm presenting something that can help you. And if we connect, then you're in, right? Well, your cashier wants to go, hey, you want extra cheese on that pizza? Robot, extra cheese on the pizza, that's what I'm told. Does the extra cheese make it frickin' better? I had a Thai restaurant that worked with me 20-something years ago. And they had a jalapeno fried rice, which is very Arizona and flair fusion Thai, if you will. Well, if you walked out of their restaurant without having the jalapeno fried rice, you were missing out. So it was easier for a server at the last second to go, can I recommend the jalapeno fried rice? Get one for the table. It is to die for. If you have one thing in our restaurant, it's got to be this. And man, if you don't like it, I'll buy it back. See, I'm making the guest experience better. So when you teach a shy person, they're shy because they don't want to sell. But if you teach them to make a guest experience better, why it's a good thing to present options to people, that helps. The other part is, hey man, might not be the right position for them. Right? There is that possibility, but I need more information. Hopefully that helps, Caleb. We've got one more question here. Akil, hopefully Akil, I pronounced that properly. What should I start with? My football is like 20 people on weekends in the bar and restaurant. Footfall. Footfall? I don't know what, can you retype that question? I don't know what you mean by footfall. F-O-T, footfail. I'm going to try it again. Maybe you guys can help me. What does that mean? My footfall is like 20 people on weekends in the bar and restaurant. Are you saying that you're not busy? Or are you saying you'd like to be busier? There's a delay, so I'm trying to give you a chance to retype it. But let me answer the question while you're doing it a couple different ways. Number one, if you're slow and you're trying to get busier, first you have to ask, is your demographic, is it where you want to be? Truth of the matter is, unless you're a sports bar, football, if that's what it was, is something people watch at home anymore. Or a sports bar. And even if you're at a sports bar, you're not really doing great. You got people sitting at tables and they don't order enough. Your servers are standing around picking their noses because why? People are watching the whole game. The second is, if it's not your demographic, maybe it's not worth even trying to get it busier. Instead, maximize your busy days. Think of it this way, Friday night's your busiest night. What if you could get a half turn more in the restaurant? How much more money would that be? You've already got all the staff there. Sales are high, labor cost is low. You already got staff there. What if you get your team to upsell every table? What if you could get, right? If I could maximize my busier days, I'm going to have a greater impact on my business than trying to get my slow days busier. Now, you've not replied with a new comment, unless it's over here. Nope. So hopefully one of those answers got you, because I don't see a change here. All right, how are we doing on time? We're right at the half-hour mark, a little 4 minutes over. A part of that's my fault because we had a technology issue. I think that concludes our STS with DSP. I really appreciate a large group of you hanging around with me today. It is wonderful to have you. I apologize again for technology, but that's the joys of going live, man. If there wasn't a day that something goes wrong when it comes to technology, I don't know that my day would be complete. Anyway, with that said, let's double check. Next week, I believe, today is Friday the 24th. We're going to look at Friday the 3rd, Halloween. Yes, there will be a Shoot the Shit with DSP next Friday. So I will see you next Friday. In the meantime, hey, try one of these 7 things I shared with you today. Email me at david@davidskypeters.com on Monday and tell me how it worked for you. Pick 2 of them, rock and roll, get this shit done. Go out there, have a great, fantastic, profitable weekend. In the meantime, I will see you next week on STS. Peace.